Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. This is season 5, episode number 45. Tonight's the Songs edition. Andy, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
So it's September 12th. This entire month we're doing September soundtracks. No, it's Soundtracks September, I think.
September soundtracks.
September soundtracks. We're doing album reviews the entire month of September on our Thursday night shows, focusing on soundtracks. So today will be another one, of course. And I think we can jump right into it. At the end of the show, we'll have some
right in.
Concerts and tours and upcoming shows here. But here we go.
Here we go. This week,
you want to introduce it, Andy?
Yes, here we go. This week, this album was released June 25th, 1984. It's Purple Rain.
Bingo.
Sixth studio album by American singer, songwriter, producer, multi-instrumentalist Prince. It was released June 25 of 84 by Warner Brothers Records as a soundtrack for the 1984 film of the same name. Purple Rain was musically denser than Prince's previous albums, emphasizing full band performances and multiple layers of guitars, keyboards, electronic synthesizers, effects, drum machines, and other instruments.
Okay.
Purple Rain became Prince's first album to reach number 1 on the Billboard 200. The album spent 24 consecutive weeks atop the Billboard 200 and was present on the chart for a total of 167 weeks.
Jeez.
When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy reached number 1 on the Billboard 100, while Purple Rain peaked at number 2, and I Would Die For You peaked at number 8 in May of 96. In May of 96, the album was certified 13 times platinum by the RIAA, the Recording Industry Association of America.
Wow.
It was Prince's commercial peak, with a total sales standing at 25 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time. Prince and the Revolution won Grammy Awards for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group, with Best Vocal and Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media. While Prince also won an Academy Award for Best Original Song Score for the film Purple Rain. One thing I want to get to here, while Prince's previous albums were primarily solo recordings by Prince, Purple Rain contained the credits produced, arranged, composed, and performed by Prince and the Revolution. Although he had teased the name 2 years earlier in 1999, writing and the Revolution backwards on the album cover. We all remember that, of course.
Mm.
The album was mostly written and recorded between July of 83 and March of 84, with Baby I'm a Star dating to 1981. The last 3 songs on the album, I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and the title track Purple Rain, were recorded live at the August 3rd, 1983 First Avenue show in Minneapolis. So if you've seen the videos for those 3, you can tell that's where they recorded there at the First Avenue.
Nice.
And now, Dan, the part we're here to educate.
Yes.
I even learned something on this. Here we go.
Okay.
Purple Rain was originally written as a country song and intended to be a collaboration with Stevie Nicks. According to Nicks, she received a 10-minute instrumental version of the song from Prince with a request to write the lyrics, but felt overwhelmed. She said, I listened to it and I just got scared. I called him back and said, I can't do it. I wish I could. It's too much for me.
Okay. Wow.
At the rehearsal, Prince then asked his backing band to try the song. I want to try something different before we go home. According to the Revolution member Lisa, Prince then changed the song after the Revolution's Wendy started playing guitar chords to accompany the song. He was excited to hear it voiced differently, took it out of the country feeling. Then we all started playing it a bit harder and taking it more seriously. We played it for 6 hours straight. By the end of the day, we'd mostly written and arranged the song.
Interesting. Wow.
So can you imagine if that was a country song with him and Stevie Nicks?
It blows my mind just to even.
The world would be different today as we know it.
Yes.
Wow. We might not be sitting here right now.
Stevie Nicks and the country song with
Prince.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
I did not know that. No.
Yes. Take Me With You was written by Apollonia 6 album, was written for the Apollonia 6 album, Apollonia 6 in 1984, but later enlisted for Purple Rain. The illusion of the song cuts the Sweet Like Computer Blue, the full version of which did not earn an official release. And that's the thing, is a lot of his songs, a lot of their songs in the movie, which are kind of like Morris Day in the Night, Apollonia, they all had their own albums off it too, but they weren't soundtracks for the movie, but their songs were in the movie. So that's kind of weird about it. When you buy the Purple Rain soundtrack, you think you might hear those songs, but you won't. So Apollonia sings it, you gotta get the Apollonia song or album. Morris Day and the Time, you gotta get the Morris Day and the Time album.
So although it's a soundtrack from the movie, these are just the Prince songs.
Just the Prince songs from it. Yep.
Okay.
Well, Prince walks. Okay. The risque lyrics of the song "Darling Nikki" contributed to the use of the parental advisory stickers and imprints on album covers that were the record label's answer to complying with the Tipper Gore and the PMRC.
Okay.
Purple Rain is regarded as one of the greatest albums of all time by numerous publications. Rolling Stone ranked Purple Rain number 2 on its list of 100 best albums of the 80s and number 8 on its list of 500 greatest albums of all time. On their list of 25 greatest soundtracks of all time, Purple Rain was ranked second behind the Beatles' Help. So that's some pretty good company.
Yes.
Here is the song listings. Side 1. And all these are written by Prince, except for Computer Blue was by Prince, John L. Nelson, Wendy and Lisa, and Dr. Fink. We got Let's Go Crazy, Take Me With You, The Beautiful Ones, Computer Blue, and then Darling Nikki. Darling Nikki also was a B-side, I think, for Let's Go Crazy on the 45.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's how that song got real popular, because I remember as a youth hanging out at the arcade up in Brainerd, the uncles, every now and then the jukebox would just play a song, but it always played the B-side. Well, Darling Nikki came up one time and everybody's like, what is this? This is not on our regular radio stations. He's saying not safe for work language, you know?
Wow, yes.
And hence, that's how a lot of songs became popular. Side 2, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and Purple Rain. Now, the videos for I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star, a lot of times MTV played those two back to back. Because like we said, they were recorded all three of those in a row. So they were done back to back. Sometimes they'd play them together. Kind of like with Queen's We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. They play those back to back. Those two songs had that same aspect. A couple other notes, not soundtrack, but movie notes, just so you know. The scene where she wants to be purified in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yes.
I grew up in Minnetonka. That is not Lake Minnetonka. That's actually a spot down in Henderson, Minnesota.
Okay.
And yes,
roughly for the listeners that aren't familiar, about an hour south, 45 minutes maybe south of the Twin Cities is Henderson. Yep. Okay.
And I think most people from the Minnetonka area that listened to this movie when it came out, the soundtrack when it came out, have been purified in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. So when he said he did it, it's not that odd a thing. It's like what do you mean? No, most of the people have been there, so it's not that big a deal. But that's what I got for Purple Rain soundtrack. His Royal Badness himself, he was a big hit at First Avenue, 7th Street Entry. That's where a lot of it was recorded, done at night. Again, the Lake Minnetonka scene is not at Lake Minnetonka. It's down in Henderson. I think, and one other thing in the movie, if you look at the credits too, and also on the soundtrack, he never goes by the name Prince. He's always Kid. The Kid is how he's listed on the credits in the movie. The Kid. But good soundtrack all around. You really hear he really kind of, I hate to say blossomed. Like, so what was it? 6th album they said. Yeah, the 6th studio album. I thought 1999 was a great album, but it was Prince because it was mostly him. A lot of his stuff at the end was Prince. He was kind of such a perfectionist. He had to do it all. Well, the Revolution, this one, these few albums after this, where the band really got to have a say in it, it really was a different sound. Still Prince, but a different sound. If you are one of the few people who have never heard that soundtrack front to back, you need to. It's a thing you got to do.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Interesting.
Not a fan of the word bucket list, but if you were to have a bucket list, this would you have to listen to a soundtrack. The movie itself, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, and that's just because the music was so great in it.
Oh yeah. And so the motorcycle, that was his, right?
That was his. That was his bike. A few backstories on that I know from growing up in Minnetonka with him. He would go down to the Commons in Excelsior with his bike. True story. Hand to God. I was working at the convenience store in Excelsior, and he came in a couple times when I was working the overnight shift.
Okay.
And I remember this like it was yesterday. It was just because it's one of those odd events where you remember it. He walks in, he's got the silk jammies on, and he just comes in like any other customer. Like he knew exactly where he was going. This is what he got. Bottle of Evian water. I think it was Tylenol. The Time magazine that had OJ's mugshot on it.
Okay.
And a box of condoms.
Okay, so that's what Prince Rogers Nelson checked out with at the checkout.
So I get his stuff, he pays, he goes, and he goes out the door, and you hear him take off. And as he squeals out the parking lot, this lady runs in. Who was that in that little car? He almost ran me over. He almost hit me. She's blah, 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 blah. I said, that was Prince. She goes, oh, okay. Yeah, no big deal.
Those were the times, yes. So
you know,
come down there and frequent the convenience store, get his things that he needed, some Tylenol, Time magazine, vivid in your head to this date. OJ Simpson.
Evian water. I don't know how. The OJ magazine, of course, because it was the mugshot one. I could have said a magazine, but it was right after the OJ thing, so it's the mugshot right on there. And yeah, so
that's awesome. Good stuff.
That's just that's coming up close to 30 years ago. So now I remember like yesterday. Now, I don't know why I remember it being Evian water, not something different, but for some reason that just sticks out in my head.
Yes, all of it very vivid. I love it.
I don't remember what kind of condoms. I just know it was a box of condoms. I was just
condoms, Tylenol, and some water.
He was prepared.
That is, you can't even make that stuff up. It's very good. Now, anything more on Prince and the Purple Rain movie?
Not on the movie, no. Like I said, the soundtrack parts. I don't know much about the house, if that was actually his house he grew up in, or a house, if that was in Minneapolis, Minnetonka, where that house was. I don't know. I've never gone on the search to say, oh, I drove by the house it was in. No. I've been to First Avenue, been to 7th Street, yay,
Good stuff.
Been by the spot in Henderson, yay,
That's
which
awesome.
Wasn't even on purpose. I think you just drive through Henderson, you go by that spot. You can't really.
There's
no signage or anything there.
Yeah, very small area.
Yeah, good soundtrack. Very good.
I'll have to listen to it all. I've heard it, but I don't think all front to back, like you said.
You got to listen to it in order. Purple Rain is an 8-minute song.
Okay.
So if you cut that one out halfway through, I'll cut you slack on that one. But
I'll have to do that. That sounds awesome. Here's local events. Now, I've got some screenshots here coming up of some things happening here in the future. Bogarts Entertainment Center, our friends at Bogarts there is going to have the Guns N' Roses tribute band, Dust and Bones, this Saturday. So that's the 14th of September. They're going to be rocking out there. Doors at 6. Music starts at 8 to 11. Music 8 to 11:30. It looks like good stuff. They're always fun there at Bogarts. Now, Mad Alice. This is a tribute to Alice in Chains and Mad Season. This is going to be Bogarts in Apple Valley here, along with the opening band Grime.
I've not heard them yet.
I have heard them. They're another 90s tribute band of all They play all the Seattle sound of the 90s. And this is tomorrow night. This is Friday the 13th. Instead of grunge, so they go with the word grime, but it's really a 90s cover band. Matt Alice, very good. Once again, friends of the show. Now this, Andy, the latest with is J. Ernest Music.
Yes.
Hold your horses. It's now available for streaming on Spotify and Apple. What do you know about this?
J. Ernest is also the guy who is Johnny Cash in the Church of Cash.
Okay, so
he's Johnny. So these songs are really Johnny influenced, if you will, since that's what he does. And so he doesn't make up the song to sound like Johnny. That's just how he sounds. So it's kind of a Johnny Cash sounding stuff. Good listen. I recommend if you're into the Johnny Cash type country music, you would enjoy this.
Now check this out. Motorhead is going to be releasing We Take No Prisoners, the singles, the 1995 to 2006 box set coming up next month. What's your thoughts on this? I'm not a big Motorhead fan, but this could sell amongst the big demographic there. And
God bless Lemmy. Rest in peace, Lemmy.
Lemmy, yes.
And just in time for my birthday, it comes out. So that's all I got to say.
That's a great idea there. Just the singles, the Motorhead singles. That's a very good gift idea here for your birthday next month, Andy.
Yes.
I like it. And that's what I've got right there.
You see a lot of these bands come up with stuff, like a lot of Prince's stuff the family has released, his stuff that was in the vault after he passed. Most of the time I'd be okay with that. But Prince being such the perfectionist he is, I just won't listen to it. Because if it was good enough to be released, he would have. He had it in there to keep tweaking it, keep working on it.
And so with other bands with box sets and things, the fans like to hear the demos, the uncompleted work. Yeah. And that's really what this is. In a normal case, it would make sense. Now, the family's releasing it because, they can. And number two, they have the rights to it. And maybe because the fans want
This is why the family's releasing it for Prince is right here.
Yeah, cash. So they're going to make money on it. People are going to want to buy it. They're going to want to listen to it. But the reason that you specifically personally aren't is that you knew or 100% Prince never would release this stuff if he was alive today. Never. Any kind of demo work, right? Because of his.
That's why he had it sitting in the vault.
So it's a.
I'm pretty sure he didn't have a post-it on a box and going, once I die, you can release these for money. He didn't. No, that wasn't like that. Because there was a big fight after he passed with the family members on the rights to his music and this and that.
Yeah.
Which right there tells you someone's just going for a cash grab. So
it got nasty right away with his songs and his music. And there's so much out there and there's so many of these demos and so many of the tapes and the uncompleted versions that if you're a fan, please leave your comments below, if you'd like to hear that stuff. I know I myself am interested in other bands. I want to hear their demo stuff. I want to hear the stuff, like that. Gene Simmons, the perfectionist he was, released some demo work in the Kiss box set, which is kind of similar. He's a perfectionist, does not want that stuff out, but
he was okay.
He was okay, yeah.
Now, one more thing about Purple Rain. Off the top of my head, this is actually the third soundtrack Prince has done. The follow-up to this movie, Under the Cherry Moon.
Okay.
If you looked up Alex, I'll take movies that sucked for 100, that would be in there. Okay, that would be under that category. Okay,
fair enough.
Let's just say it. And also, one of the Batman movies he did the soundtrack for. Bat Dance, he did that song. Which was very
song? Okay.
It's not Bat Dance. I don't know if he did the whole soundtrack or just the main song on it.
Okay.
So they'll
interesting
correct me if I'm wrong on that one for Bat Dance, but yeah.
It's interesting to listen to all the layers of the work from all the instrumental pieces that he brings forth in this album. Very complex music. Once again, it's not just playing guitar. He's not just singing. It's all the stuff in the background with the drums and the guitar work and the electric
and
the synthesizer, the keyboard work.
And the song When Doves Cry, again, another here to educate. There is no bass guitar in that song.
None at all.
Nope.
One of my favorites. Very good stuff. Darling Nikki, I think Foo Fighters covered that, right?
That would be more your wheelhouse than mine.
I think
Darling Nikki's, to me, I like the song. I think it's hilarious. I think it's a funny song.
Yeah,
if
and I
it's trying
think
to be serious, I don't know, but I think it's a funny song.
I think that's also the reason Dave Grohl did it with the food for the comedy aspect.
Yeah,
it's right up his alley. So
a little tongue in cheek with it, and here it goes. He
all
was
right,
like, "Gonna write this beautiful song, Darling Nikki. It's gonna be great." No, it was his way of telling everybody on the record industry, "Thumb you, I'm gonna write what I want."
Yes, good stuff. Please leave your comments below and suggestions and things like that. But that's all we got for this week. Have a good week, everyone.
Bye.
See you.